Okay, today I'm going to make a small movie um, based on a movie I found which is already a few months old. It's a movie made by women, not objects. It's from the hashtag I Stand Up, and the name of the movie is I Stand Up Against the Harm Caused by Objectification of Women in Advertising. And let's go into that a bit. But first, let's start with the movie.
What is a thigh gap?
When you're standing straight up, there's like a gap in between your thighs. Girls just don't want their thighs to touch.
Okay, so now we know what the thigh gap is. Where does it come from? We know that the thigh gap got coined in 2010, 2012 because of the Victoria's Secret modeling show. And with that, the thigh gap was a thing. Lots of blogs went about it, memes went about it, you name it, it was there. Okay, so how am I meant to blame for this? Victoria's Secret is a company directed primarily at women. Now, if women were against this, then Victoria's Secret wouldn't really sell. But they did. They did well. And this became a thing. It's an unhealthy thing, and everyone will tell you it's an unhealthy thing, but it still became a thing. It's a genetically based thing. You cannot slim down so that you get a thigh gap. You cannot train your muscles so you get a thigh gap. You have it or you do not. That's as simple as it is. And yet still, people are trying to peddle this as something they can achieve. Well, okay, have fun trying.
Nearly 250,000 teens had cosmetic surgery last year.
No.
The Kylie Jenner challenge has gone viral. Doctors warn it can cause a number of issues.
Oh my God.
Oh God. We raise our little girls to view their bodies as projects to constantly be improved.
Who is this we you are talking about? I mean, I don't know of any man who tries to improve their daughter, wife, or mother. So, is this we someone else than the men I know? And if so, then who is this we you are talking about?
Advertising often trivializes battering, sexual assault, and even murder.
Yeah, there are some fucked up commercials out there. There really are. I mean, no denying that. But I'm not quite sure why you are pushing the idea that only women are portrayed in this way. Now, I haven't looked a lot because I'm lazy, so I did a few smart Google searches, or no, not even smart Google searches. I did a few lazy Google searches and I found a few pictures, and you're looking at them now. I'm sorry, sexualizing is what commercials do. It's how they sell stuff, both to men and to women. And yes, some are in poor taste. That's just it. They're in poor taste. Deal with it or ignore it. Don't worry about it. And what you're doing now is you're trying to make it sound that a certain group is more targeted than another group, and therefore the raising of the kids go wrong. I'm sorry. As a parent, you are responsible for the raising of your child. Don't tell them they're not supposed to do something. Explain to them why they're not supposed to do something. Then you are raising your kid. But blaming commercials for it, honestly, it's like when the steam trains were new. Oh no, cows will not be able to create milk anymore. Television gives you square eyes. We constantly keep trying to give explanations to bullshit. This is what you're doing. You're explaining bullshit. Please stop it.
Cologne continues to speak of up to 1,000 men groping women on New Year's Eve.
16-year-old girl learned she was raped only after seeing pictures of her naked, unconscious body being passed around online.
Yeah, she is so raped right now. She's a fucking whore. She's worse than her mother.
There's a societal standard that's put up in the media, and then women try to meet it, and then they get criticized. Like, there's no winning.
It increases doubt in your self-image and self-worth. It brings me down.
It warps your idea of what's real.
These images of women, they aren't real. People don't actually look like that.
I just think that it's harming women psychologically, physically, mentally, socially.
Okay, now we're coming in somewhat of a fragile situation, because here I can only say, yeah, this stuff is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. There is no man out there that thinks differently. There is no woman out there that thinks differently. Society is against this sort of stuff. But now I'm going to say something, and that's going to piss off a lot of people. What about the men? Because we talk about how women are constantly victims, and we ignore the fact that men are victims. And not even the fact that men can be victim of rape, which according to the UK government is impossible, but still. Not only that, as soon as a man is raised in question, the name of a man is raised in question, I should have said, then that man is condemned. And it's become this absurd that the woman and the man can both say that sex was consensual, and still the man is in trouble, even though they are both of consenting age, and as I said, it was all consensual. So how come sex is not only a selling point, it's also an arguing point? And when the mere mention of rape is there, men are already condemned, which doesn't make sense to me. Don't get me wrong. If you did it, you should be condemned. I can't say it easier than that. If you did it, fuck you. The problem is, however, that, as I said, there have been cases of women talking about how they were raped and it's proven they were lying, and that happened more than a few times. But there are also cases where a man is more or less blamed or convicted by the court of public opinion, if you will, for consensual sex with a woman who actually agrees that it was consensual. But some do-gooders out there feel that they need to fight for her rights or something like that. Again, this is all about how do we educate our kids? How do we educate our youth? And we're not doing that. We're putting blame. And putting blame, that's not helping.
I kind of just want to know, like, why me?
I wish I could help answer the why me question, I really do, but some people are victims. The question I have though is, why make this a gendered issue? Because there are male victims too, both of normal violence and sexual violence. Why are we pretending it's only women? Why do we only think women are being objectified? Why are you pushing this narrative? I don't understand it. I tried to find that quote and I can't. I went to the website and it's not there. The one thing it does refer me to loosely is a 3-piece blog written by a PhD on Chris Rock. I'm sorry. I think you're quote mining in a dreadful way, and you're filling our heads with lies. Please either give me the real quote or stop spreading lies.
I think that the people that are harmed the most, of course, are the children. Girls are growing up thinking that how they look is more important than how they feel or who they are and what they can do.
Do I think we need to help women stand up against the monster women have created? And yes, I do say women have created. But yeah, I do think we should see what we can do to help out. And with we, I mean everyone, not just men, also the women. For example, the France government stepping in on what is and is not allowed to expect from models. Perfect good example. After all, we have seen models diminishing in size for quite a while. I mean, Stiggy was actually not Stiggy, Sticky. Well, I can't remember. Was actually a thing, and no, it didn't become a thing because of David Bowie. Anyway, I'm digressing. Do we need to stand up to make sure that our children have a stronger self-image? Yes, we do. Do we need to stand up to help girls identify as girls and not as photoshopped images? Yes, we do. But then don't we also need to stand up to make boys identify with boys and not quiet little helpers that we need when we need them, but the rest of the time should be silent? After all, dissociative disorders are way more common with boys than with girls. Suicide is way more common with boys than with girls. Identity trouble is something that is a position that the whole society needs to focus on. Identity problems are big problems, whether it's with a boy or with a girl. So how come we're aiming every attention we have on the girls and we're aiming all attention we have away from the boys? We see what we're doing in society. We're changing schools so that our sons don't really go through school as easily as they once did. We know boys are more physically active. They need to be physically active. Their whole body is geared towards it. But instead of letting our boys be more physically active, we give them Ritalin or Adderall so that they are quiet and demure. No one realizes that this is the feeding base of a dissociative disorder. We're telling young boys that whatever they are, they shouldn't be young boys because that's not good. It's just as bad as telling our girls that they're not allowed to be who they are. But we stand up and speak out against it when it happens to the girls. Why are we not standing up when it happens to the boys? Why do we expect government to help the girls? Why do we ignore the help boys need? Why do we have a lot of shelters for battered women, but nearly none for battered men? This is not a gendered issue. Why are we making it a gendered issue? Like so many real problems we're having in society at the moment, we're making it gendered. Can we please stop that? Stand up against harassment? Yes. Stand up against harassment against girls? Yes. Stand up against harassment against boys as well, please. All harassment is bad. To say one group, well, that's a problem, and the other group, well, that's not so bad, is stupid. It's even more stupid if you realize that suicide is something that happens among males way more than it happens among females. So no matter what problems you think women have because of this, they're not dying from it. Which, don't get me wrong, is a bad argument because a problem is a problem. But I'm making this argument not so much because I don't think it's a problem for women. I'm making this argument because I think there are problems like this that affect men and women. But we're only paying attention to the women. We're not paying attention to the men. We're only helping the girls realize that there's something wrong. But we don't care about the boys. Fuck them. And then there's this narrative, yeah, but man, they were oppressive for so long, and the patriarchy, and God knows what nonsense we have more. To begin with, if this is something that may have happened throughout history, which I disagree with as well, don't get me wrong, but even if it were true, how are you going to blame people nowadays for something that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago? Honestly, we gotta stop this. People that need help should get help. Should we stop the promotion of lies? Hell yes. So fashion industries, they should be restricted heavily on what they are allowed to display. But at the same time, this is not only true for the girls, this is also true for the boys. We should stop the lie that boys and girls are the same. Physically, boys need to expend their energy, physical energy, more than girls. Is that better in some way? No. Is that worse in some way? No. It's biology. Why can't we understand this? And yet we are talking about all the female victims, and trust me, one is too many. I agree. One is too many. But why can we not look at the boys, the male victims of shit? Well, yeah, but they're only males. I really have a problem with this attitude. So, stand up? No, I won't stand up. Because you're segratory. You want me to stand up for one half, but not the other. Do I think they need help? Yes, I do. Do I think we as a society need to do something for these girls? Yes, I do. But I also think we need to do something for these boys. And somehow, you are forgetting about them. You don't care about them. This is not fair. Anyway, as usual, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't like it, fair enough. Please drop criticism down in the comments. Criticism can be positive, they can be negative. If you like it, that's perfectly alright to tell me as well, because I love to hear it. If you don't like it, please tell me why you don't like it. Because I do take criticism serious. I might not agree with you, but I will listen to you. And who knows, maybe you will make me change my mind. I mean, it has happened before, it will happen again. However, please don't let the argument be you're a poopy head. Okay, that's stupid because no one ever done that in my so far. So I don't expect anyone to do it. Please discuss. Criticism is welcome, even if you do not agree. Anyway, I'm digressing. Thank you for watching and see you all next time.